Hi, this is Claire again with the full moon cards. I'm back from vacation, and yes, as always, the cards have been drawn in the German version of the video, and we have a really interesting outcome. And most of you might see the angel first, the Temperance. Yeah, it's the card of aligning things, of finding balance, searching and finding balance. It's still in the flow, it's still in the process. Helpful forces. The angel cards in tarot are always about forces that come for your help, no matter if you believe in angels or power animals or whatever your spiritual path is. This is someone from above who is helping you. So let's start with the cards, and this one is the one who unites those forces, who brings balance. And first we have a little problem. We have the Five of Swords. So this card is always about conflicts. It is about imbalance. It is about problems, because one wants to be the chief and the others have to be defeated, so to say. One wants to have all the resources, all the options, everything for himself or herself, and the other side, yeah, just have to go. It's like a sports competition or something like that. You have one winner and the rest, you forget about it, so to say. So this card is a lot about black and white thinking, as we call this in German. I don't know if you say it's the same in English. It's like you only see black, you only see white, you don't see anything between or colors at all. Yeah, it's just like that or like that. And you want to be the winner, you don't want to be on the loser's side. So this card, as always with the cards, it can be a little tricky, because we all assume we are good people, don't we? And so this is, we mostly assume that this would be another person who is bad towards us, who behaves in such a dominant way and wants to control the situation. But sometimes we are this person ourselves, if we are honest. Yeah, it's not nice. Nobody wants to say this about him or herself, but it can happen. And yes, it's important to reflect. And with this card, it's often about fear. It's fear-based behavior. If one side needs everything, all the resources, wants to have everything in her own hands, like I want to control it. Why do you need control? If you would feel secure, you would not need control. Yeah, because you would feel security. This grasping for control, if it's like in this card very extreme, very strong, then it means that you are like fallen out of balance, so to say. Yeah. You need to realign with your inner feeling of security again, with your self-confidence and all of that. Because you really have to say this. In today's society, is often seen as positive if someone, like we say in German, hits the desk with a fist, so to say. So it's seen as positive, as someone who is dynamic and so on. And no, in most cases, it means this person has no inner center. It has no inner balance. It is fallen out of balance. Yeah. Otherwise, you would not have need to be so dominant, because true dominance in the natural way, true leadership, let's say it like this, comes from within. It is something people really buy into, so to say, because they see, oh yes, it makes sense to follow that person. It makes sense, not because they are afraid or they would not have other options because they are defeated. Yeah. So this is a card of conflict. It's obvious. You see these clouds, they don't look very friendly. We have also water in the card. This means element of emotions. We also have this plain ground, which looks very unnatural. It's not an organic card. Let's see it like here. We have lots of nature, flowing lines, plants and so on. It's very flowing, it's very beautiful. Excuse me. And here we see just this plain battleground, so to say. Yeah, it looks like maybe a harbor or something like that. Yes. And we have this person with red hair, and it's very windy. And I'm thinking about the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, saying like wind is the mother of all illnesses. It's one of the sentences you might learn when you come into contact with this medicine system. So we can see this here too. Stress is wind, for example. Stress is also the mother of all illnesses. And when we say illnesses, we can also think about bad relationships and things like that, things that are not in balance. Yeah. We can take this to the bigger picture, so to say. So it's about wind, it's about stress, it's about the feeling and the need to grasp everything. I need it all because otherwise I don't feel secure enough in my situation. Yeah, and many of us, I think most of us, can relate to this. We all have these moments. So this is really about, and this card will help us with it in a moment. It's really about realigning with your inner strength again, finding your balance again. This is very, very important with this card. Yeah, because you are clever. We are here with the swords. It is rational thinking. It is about yes, really knowing. It is about knowledge. It is about learning. It is about all the clever things of life, so to say. We just have to use it wisely, because the 5 is Mars, if you put the astrological correspondences into it. So this means it is power, it is energy, but it's also war and force and everything that is not so nice about Mars. So these energies always have both sides. And if we want to put this in a positive way, we can use the Mars force, as there is a lot of energy, there is a lot of possibility for change and so on. When we have, or if we have clever thoughts, if we use our swords, our knowledge and thinking in a good way. Yeah, but in general, in everyday life, you really have to watch out for people who are bossy, or who try to bully you, or who are just terrible people to have around, so to say. Yes, we all have known someone like this, someone who has to be bossy because otherwise he or she feels everything would fall apart, and this person cannot go on like this. It has to be chief, so to say. Yes, so try to get out of the way of these people, and on your personal inner level, try to get out of the wind. If we want to stay with this analogy, however you say it in English, try to get out of the stress, so you don't come into this imbalance, so you don't become this person who has to rule over everything, or otherwise there is a feeling of, oh, I can't get hold of anything anymore. Yeah, if I'm not the boss. It's an interesting card, especially in these times. I think it's often, because we have so much stress, because there is so much going on, it is very often a card people really can relate to. If you say some words about it, they are like, yes, I get this energy, I understand what it is about, because we all can relate so good to it in our competition-driven societies. Yes, so it's really time to calm down. And I'm not going with the usual way. I'm taking this as an antidote out of the cards right now. This means like meditation. Some people are concerned when they see this card, especially for the first time. It's like, oh, isn't it the coffin? I don't want to see bad surprises in my life or things like that. Yeah, no. This is first of all a church. You see here Saint Martin, who is dividing his, how we say in English, his cloak for the poor beggar. So it's a scene of mercy, of compassion and all of that. And here it's like in the old churches, still today, I have been on vacation in one of those churches, you still have graves of, how you say in English, people who belong to the crown and so on, those people who were rulers. Yes, of kings, not kings and queens, the smaller ones, you know. Yes, you see their graves in these old churches still today. Most often not so elaborate. You have like big stone plates and things like that, but yes, they are still there. So this card is a lot about calmness. It's not about death, if anyone is thinking like, oh. No, it is about calmness. The 4, for example, the number 4 is also the emperor. Yeah, and he is all about structure, about organizing, about ruling, about getting things done, so to say, in a way. And this card is also about getting things done, and we are with a sword, so it's about the mind, it's about thinking, it's about learning, it's about pondering things. Yeah, and it is very, very logical and rational. This means really like this is a good time to make a list, to see like, okay, if I do this, then this will be the outcome, so because of that I will do this and that, so to say. So it's really a good time to think through everything in a logical way. Yeah, don't do it too intuitive, too much gut feeling, too much, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that. There is a time for everything in life. Yeah, but now is a good time to think, to really make a plan, to make a list. I know it's boring. Yes, it's of course much more nice if you are in the flow and inspiration is coming and you are just following your feelings. This is wonderful. I mean, I feel like that too. But sometimes you really need to do your boring list, and you have to do it one and the next point and then the next point. Yes, and it will work out, and the fruits of this work will be very sweet, so it's really worth it. So these are the opposing forces, so to say. This is like the hot head, and this is like the cool head, so to say, if we want to see those both in relation, or the overheated head. And this is also a good card for meditation, for going inward, for training your mind. Yeah, meditation is mind training. It's really like you learn all these thoughts. Of course, if you are sitting in a calm way, all the thoughts will be coming and they will be rushing in. And in meditation, you learn not to grasp them, not to get on the hook, so to say, not to run with them away. You learn to stay in your center while they are running wild. And this is nothing different from life training, yeah? Because if you can do it in meditation, you can also begin to do this in life. And so in real life, the real life also becomes a meditation, so to say, and you don't get hooked so fast with everything that's running through our mind. And these are fast and busy times, so it's very easy to get hooked. Yeah, so this really means coming to your own center and finding your balance. And here we are with Temperance. The Temperance card is a very old card. It was already in the Renaissance times, when tarot was invented in the form we know it today, or the root of tarot was invented. There have been tarot decks in those days who had like 150 cards and so on. So it was really different. But Temperance was one of the first cards to appear, and it stayed forever, so to say. Temperancia. And this is like talked about meditation, but these ideas have been to European culture too. It is about finding balance, the middle way. I think in Buddhism they say it in another way. The middle way, like the middle path, not the extremes and things like that. So it's really about finding the balance. It's still in the process. This angel has no problem with trying it out. Yeah, it's not like he would hold some scales which are in perfect balance. It's still in the making, and it's okay to be in the making. Yeah, so this card is a lot about yes, letting things come, letting things be, trying things out. Yeah, with the help from above. As all angel cards, it's with help from above. We see also all the elements. Here we have fire. This triangle means fire. We have water, we have the earth, we have the wings, so there is air also. So this means all elements come together. Nothing is forgotten, nothing is out of reach also. You have all the resources you need. And yes, this is a central motif. You try to find the right balance with one foot in the water, in the emotions, and one foot on solid ground, which means, yeah, everyday life, your possibilities, what is really available to you. Yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful card. And yes, what does this mean for my everyday life? Of course, in theory and talking about the concepts of the cards, it's all easy. But what does this mean in real life? In real life, it means just widen your view a little bit and try out new things. It does not have to be big. Today everything is about bigness, I feel, yeah? It's like, oh yes, turn around your whole life and start new. But if we are honest, mostly this is like 2 weeks you are in a high and you feel like, yeah, I'm really in a new lifestyle. And afterwards, like 2 months later, everything is the same. So it's not about hype culture. It's about really changing things. And most often, small things that you change, but you stick with it. In the long term, they will have a much bigger effect than all these 2 weeks adventures, as I call them, and we all have done it. These 2 weeks adventures when you are just like in a hype feeling and it's like, oh yes, this new way is really the solution, and yeah, some months later everything is the same. And you just feel a little bit embarrassed or something like that because, it didn't work out again, so to say. Yes, it's just human, I mean. Okay, so This means take these small steps and have the courage to really try. And if you try, like he is still trying out, and it's such a wise being, and this wise being of compassion, of love, of, like in an Asian culture it would be a Buddha, we have an angel. It's still trying out which is the right way. So you don't have to be solid, you don't have to be fixed, you don't have to already know it all. You can be open for this process of development, and you can embrace it, and you will have help from above. So as I have said it, maybe you are a type of for power elements, maybe you work with saints, maybe you work with gods and goddesses, or with energy in a more general way. Whatever is your personal path, the beings you trust and your helpers will be near in the next time. So listen to them and really give things a try, just to change a little bit, just to try out a little bit. Often these little bits, they need the real effort, and with these little bits you can really change also the big picture. Yeah, so when we put these cards together, a short overview and summary of the cards, we see this energy of conflict, of one wanting to be the chief, wanting to be the boss, wanting to rule over it all, and to have all the resources that are needed on his or her own hands. So this is in the root cause, so to say. It comes from insecurity, it comes from fear, it comes from rush. People are much too fast. So it really means, like, I will, with the help of the angel and the help of some structure, I will widen my view. I won't be that person. And if I meet a person like that, I will also widen my view, and I will see that in the end it's a hurt person, but also get out of the way. Yeah, you can't speak with fools, so to say, and think there would be something constructive or positive that would come out of it. Yeah, so it does not make sense to talk to fools, so to say. Yes, in the middle we have this unifying force, this force of balance, this force of trying it out, giving it a try, trying something different. Try to find the balance, and yes, you find it when trying out. It's not like, oh, I know in every situation I know where the balance would be. No, we have to learn, we have to try. And helpful for that is our very structured Four of Swords. It's a little bit boring, it's a little bit yes, follow the list, make a list what would be really reasonable and follow this boring list, but it really helps. And it's worth it. And also on another level, this card is about meditation. It's about training your mind. It's about developing, like, spiritual stamina, so to say, with calmness, with going within. Some people will pray, some people will meditate, some people will just sit in nature and be relaxed. And it's really just important to do it. Yeah. Okay, so these are the full moon cards for this time, and we will see each other next time again.